It is believed that on the 7th day after a person dies, the soul returns home to visit family members. This belief is commonly known in folklore as the 7th day ritual. This movie, released in the year 2002, is considered one of the most worth-watching Taiwanese folk horror films. It is also the first horror movie where Ren Jiaxuan, a member of the famous Asian girl group SHE, played the female lead. Friendly warning, the movie is intense from start to end, so it is strongly recommended to watch it with friends who are easily scared. The story begins with Chun-Hua, who works as a saleswoman in a supermarket. One night, she suddenly experiences something supernatural. She sees the automatic doors of the supermarket opening and closing again and again, but no customer is entering. Soon after, a soda can rolls down from the staircase to the floor. She quickly runs to the second floor. As soon as she turns on the lights, she sees a dark shadow flash past her eyes. In the very next moment, the lights suddenly turn off. Chun-Hua quickly turns on her mobile phone flashlight. While she is searching around for the shadow, she does not realize that the presence has already moved behind her. A pitch-black arm slowly reaches toward her shoulder. Suddenly, she wakes up and realizes it was just a dream. Chun-Hua thinks this nightmare happened because she has been extremely tired recently. Since her daughter Qinxuan was diagnosed with a serious kidney disease, Chun-Hua has been working 2 jobs every day just to barely manage the medical expenses. As for the cost of a kidney transplant, she does not even dare to think about it. What Chun-Hua does not know is that on the same night, her daughter also encounters a ghost. The ghost is an old man who keeps following her and calling her name. The strange voice scares Qinxuan badly. However, Chun-Hua is a firm non-believer in ghosts and does not believe such things exist. Because of this, the mother and daughter have a big argument. Later that night, Chun-Hua suddenly receives a call from her uncle. She learns that her beloved grandfather passed away a few days ago. According to the family tradition, she must return home to see him off and can only come back after the 7th day ritual is completed. So Chun-Hua packs her belongings and returns to her hometown with her daughter in her uncle's car. When the mother and daughter arrive at the mourning hall, Chun-Hua's father only gives her a cold glance, as if he is not happy to see her. Chun-Hua ignores it, but what she does not expect is that even the ancestral tablet suddenly falls to the ground. When she picks it up, she is horrified to see that the letters on it turn blood red, as if warning that her return will bring disaster to the family. Moments later, the tablet returns to normal, and Chun-Hua assumes she imagined it. She then takes her daughter to her old bedroom. Qinxuan is shocked to see that her mother, who struggles financially and works 2 jobs, actually has such a luxurious house in her hometown. While she is looking around the room, strange things begin to happen again. Qinxuan hears a voice urging her to leave quickly. Thinking someone is playing hide and seek with her, the little girl starts searching around the room. Suddenly, what she sees frightens her so badly that her illness flares up. As she reaches into her bag to take her medicine, she suddenly feels sharp pain. Right after that, a row of teeth marks appears on the back of her hand. Hearing her daughter scream, Chun-Hua rushes toward her. Chun-Hua quickly runs over to check what happened, but to her shock, the bite marks on Qinxuan's hand have completely disappeared. Both the mother and daughter are confused by this strange situation. At that moment, Chun-Hua's father walks over with a cold expression and suddenly tells them to leave. He says clearly that this house does not welcome them. Chun-Hua replies that after the funeral rituals are over, they will leave on their own and do not need to be forced out. It is then revealed that when Chun-Hua was young, she became pregnant before marriage. Her father demanded that she abort the child and warned her that if she refused, he would no longer recognize her as his daughter. In anger, Chun-Hua ran away from home and stayed away for more than 10 years. What she never expected was that even after all these years, her stubborn father still wanted to drive her away when they met again. But what hurt her the most was what happened during her grandfather's funeral vigil. While the family was keeping watch, Chun-Hua's elder sister suddenly accused her of returning only to fight for the inheritance. Even though Chun-Hua strongly denied this and said she would leave once the funeral rituals were complete, her sister refused to believe her. Instead, she mocked Chun-Hua and suggested that if she was truly so devoted, she should let Qinxuan stay behind to fold paper lotus flowers for their grandfather. As a result, the little girl was left alone in the mourning hall until late at night. Suddenly, Qinxuan hears strange sounds coming from the morgue. When she goes to check, she sees that the cloth covering the coffin has fallen to the floor. She picks it up and tries to place it back, but then something terrifying happens. No matter how many times she tries to run outside, she somehow keeps ending up right in front of the coffin again, as if trapped by a ghost. Terrified, Qinxuan screams loudly. Just in time, her uncle arrives. She quickly tells him that the house is haunted, but he does not take it seriously. He calmly comforts her, saying that everyone here is family, and even if someone becomes a ghost, they would never harm their own relatives. Although his words sound reasonable, Qingxuan remains extremely frightened and runs back to her room to sleep beside her mother. Late at night, the bedroom door suddenly opens on its own. Hearing the noise, Chunhua gets up to close the door, but she then hears strange sounds coming from outside. Feeling confused, she follows the noise and ends up in the old, abandoned attic. There, she realizes the sound is coming from children's toys, which makes her relax for a moment. At that point, an old family photo among the clutter catches her attention. Seeing the family smiling happily in the picture, Chunhua cannot help but smile softly. But in the very next moment, she notices a child's ghostly face appearing in the corner of the photo. Suddenly, the face of her father in the picture turns into a decayed, zombie-like face and seems to move toward her. Chunhua is so frightened that she throws the photo to the ground. When she looks again, the photo has returned to normal. She begins to believe that the stress she has been under is causing hallucinations. Thinking this, she decides to return to her room. However, as she passes the kitchen, she hears the sound of someone eating. Assuming it is her elder sister having a late-night snack, she kindly turns on the light. Instead, she sees a horrifying sight. A female ghost with messy hair is standing with her back turned, continuously stuffing raw rice into her mouth. In panic, Chunhua pulls out a fruit knife to protect herself. But in the next second, a pair of black hands suddenly appear out of nowhere and grab her wrist. Terrified, she drops the knife and runs out of the house. When she reaches a nearby forest, she slips and falls to the ground. Then she witnesses something even more horrifying. Chunhua cannot believe her eyes as she sees many nearly dried corpses hanging from the trees in the forest. Almost at the same time, her daughter is also attacked by a ghost. The spirit shakes the bed and pulls the blanket, waking Qingxuan from her sleep. Determined to find out who is behind all this, the terror continues to grow. Qingxuan opens the wardrobe, but she finds nothing inside. While she is still confused, she suddenly sees a scary ghost face coming out from the mirror on the wardrobe. At the same time, Chunhua, who is hiding outside from the ghost, hears her daughter screaming and quickly runs back into the room. She picks up her daughter and decides to leave this strange and creepy house. But when she reaches the stairs, she sees a female ghost standing there. With no other choice, Chunhua goes back into the room and hides under the bed with her daughter. When she notices that the room door is not opening for a long time, she foolishly believes that the ghost has already left. But just as she is about to crawl out, a pair of dark legs suddenly appears in front of her eyes. In reality, the female ghost has already teleported onto the bed. Luckily, the ghost does not find them and gets off the bed, walking towards the door. Chunhua quietly lets out a sigh of relief. However, the next moment, the ghost suddenly comes back and sits on the bed again. Chunhua's heart starts pounding once more. She tightly covers her mouth, afraid of making even the smallest sound. But when she turns her head to check on her daughter, she is shocked to see a terrifying ghost face staring directly at her. Suddenly, Chunhua wakes up. It turns out that everything was just a nightmare. Still, to be safe, she looks under the bed and finds nothing there. She finally relaxes, but as she gets off the bed, she notices that the soles of her slippers are covered in mud. Her heart sinks again. If last night was really just a dream, then how did mud from outside get on her slippers? What scares her even more is that after waking up, Qingxuan also says that she had a nightmare. Even worse, both of their dreams are exactly the same, which clearly does not make sense. So the mother and daughter decide that as soon as the grandfather's 7th-day ritual is over, they will immediately pack their things and return to Taipei. However, as soon as Chunhua steps outside, she is confronted by her eldest sister, who has come to accuse her. Without listening to any explanation, the sister openly says that she does not believe Chunhua came back just for the ritual. She also warns her not to even dream of getting a single penny from the grandfather's inheritance. Seeing how the whole family looks at her, Chunhua finally loses her patience and decides to leave immediately. She goes to the temple to find her younger uncle and asks him to help take her and her daughter away. At this moment, Qingxuan, who has nothing to do, secretly goes in front of the Buddha to pray. Not wanting her mother to suffer anymore because of her, she even begs the Buddha to take her life away. The temple priest is deeply moved by her kindness and decides to do a free fortune reading for her. The result completely shocks the priest. He discovers that Chunhua and her daughter are about to face a great disaster very soon. He cannot understand what kind of person would want to harm such a kind and innocent child. He plans to let the mother and daughter stay at the temple to take shelter, but Chunhua firmly refuses. She is determined to leave and does not want to stay there, even for one more night. Before leaving, the younger uncle takes Qingxuan to the supermarket to buy some snacks. He then quietly tells her the truth that Chunhua broke ties with her family just to give birth to her. After hearing this, the sensible Qingxuan returns to the car and asks her mother to stay for one more night. Because tonight is the grandfather's 7th-day ritual, she does not want her mother to leave with regret, but neither of them realizes that this decision nearly leads them to a horrible death. That night, Qingxuan is first taken to the mourning hall by her uncle, while Chunhua plans to go together with her parents. But when she arrives, she notices that all her family members are standing completely still around the dining table. Chunhua could never imagine, even in her dreams, that her entire family had turned into ghosts. It was only when her uncle suddenly appeared that she realized everything she saw was an illusion. But the more Chunhua thought about it, the stranger it felt. The illusion felt too real and too disturbing. She did not notice that the uncle standing behind her suddenly showed a cruel look. The very next moment, the uncle took out a rope and wrapped it around her neck, choking her until she lost consciousness. When Chunhua woke up, she found herself dragged into a small forest. She looked up and was shocked to see that her family members were already hanging from the trees. At that moment, she finally understood the truth. Her family had already been killed by her uncle and a sorcerer. Everyone she had seen in the house during the past few days was actually a ghost. Still, she could not understand why her uncle had done this. Feeling confident of victory, the uncle finally revealed his true face. He was actually the grandfather's illegitimate son. Because of this shameful relationship, the grandfather left him not even a single penny after his death. This made the uncle extremely angry. To take full control of the family property, he decided to work together with the sorcerer and kill everyone. Now, if he quietly killed Chunhua and her daughter, he would become the only heir of the entire family. After saying this, he hung Chunhua on a tree, but he did not expect that at the most dangerous moment, the spirits of her family appeared and saved her. Only then did Chunhua fully understand that all the strange events in the house were caused by her family's spirits. Their only goal was to force her to leave this dangerous place. Chunhua asked why they wanted her to leave, and why they never told her that the uncle was trying to kill her. Just as her brother-in-law was about to answer, he suddenly turned into ashes. At that moment, Chunhua realized that the sorcerer had placed a curse on them. If they revealed the truth, their souls would completely disappear. What the sorcerer never expected was that even after many years away, the family's love for Chunhua had never faded. This powerful bond allowed them to break part of the control and save her. Seeing that the truth was about to be exposed, the uncle picked up a ritual weapon and tried to destroy all the ghosts. When he attacked her father, Chunhua jumped forward and pushed the uncle to the ground. The two began to fight fiercely. Thinking he had already won, the uncle became careless. Chunhua grabbed a stone and killed him. But when she looked at her father, he was already dying. Before disappearing, he said he deeply regretted not stopping his daughter from leaving, which forced her to wander alone for more than 10 years. After her father's spirit vanished, Chunhua immediately called the police. However, because she failed to finish off the uncle completely, he regained consciousness earlier. At the same time, the sorcerer guarding the funeral hall launched a sneak attack on Qingxuan. Just then, the midnight bell rang, and the day of the grandfather's return finally arrived. There is a saying that on the night when spirits return, evil ghosts knock on doors. What the sorcerer did not know was that the grandfather's spirit had already visited his great-granddaughter days earlier. Now, seeing her in danger, the grandfather appeared to protect her. The sorcerer noticed footprints in the flour on the ground and tried to fight back with magic, but the grandfather defeated him easily with just one move. Covered in blood, the uncle rushed alone to the funeral hall and threw Qingxuan into the car trunk, hoping to reunite the mother and daughter in death. As he started the car to dispose of the bodies, he suddenly heard a helpless sigh from inside. Looking into the rearview mirror, he saw his old father's ghost. Unable to hold back his anger, the grandfather killed his unfilial son without hesitation. In the end, the mother and daughter trapped in the trunk were discovered by the police in time. Chunhua inherited the family property and finally managed to get a kidney transplant for her daughter. After everything, they lived a happy life. Alright, that is the end of today's story. See you in the next one.